Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The boys are back in town. Kmess and Aiden, Birds vs. Boys. We took a little summer hiatus. Aiden went to Europe. I have been taking care of kids and mowing my lawn, and it's been very hot. But we are back. The Cowboys are in Oxnard, California. The Philadelphia Eagles are at the NovaCare complex in Philadelphia. The pads are officially on. Practices are here. The Super Bowl champs are doing what they do and now saying, you know what we did last year is in the past. We are now 0-0 like everybody else. We got work to do. The Cowboys have a brand new staff. They're jumping around. They're paying some players, not paying others, which we will get into. And these two teams will play the first NFL game of the season, Thursday, September 4th. We are here for it, and we are here for you. Welcome back to Birds vs. Boys. Aiden, how are you?
Fantastic. Season 5. Great to be here. I cannot believe we made it this far. We talk about this all the time. We started this show. First episodes were during a pandemic. We were talking about, will there be a season? Well, now we're talking about a season where our two teams play each other to start, and one of us is going to have a banner night because we are Super Bowl champions. We've been to the Super Bowl twice since we started the show. It feels great to be back, rejuvenated for another season.
I am extremely excited to talk. There's a lot to talk about positively and some negatively as well. I want to jump on one thing here real quick. I know obviously the whole Micah Parsons contract is, and it kind of bleeds into both of our teams because he's from the Harrisburg area, and everyone's like, well, he wants to be an Eagle. He wants to be an Eagle. He's got 1 year left on his deal. They could franchise him next year. The Cowboys just continue to do what they do and see other players at similar positions get paid and paid and paid like they did with Dak. Hey, if they would have just paid Dak 3 months earlier, they probably would have got him when Jared Goff got signed. They probably would have got him for 52, 53. Well, they didn't. They had to pay 60. Now, same thing with Lamb last year. And now again with Micah Parsons, we saw Myles Garrett get signed. We saw TJ Watt, and the numbers just keep going up and up. It doesn't seem like the Bengals want to pay Hendrickson. They're just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Just no. But watch, out of nowhere, he'll get a boatload of money, and then, it's going to go up again. But did you hear, this is what I might preface, the latest comments from Jerry Jones?
I watched live the introductory training camp press conference when he made the comments about Micah not being healthy or available last year. I don't know if those are the comments. So yes or no, is that what it was?
Or no, it's worse. It's worse.
Okay.
So in that one, he also called him Michael Parsons. The original comments. He called him Michael Parsons first.
When you get to that age, even if you're in the vicinity, I think it counts.
True. He also said that Micah missed 8 games last year. He missed 6. So again, wrong. The owner of the exact team. So I think it was maybe Friday or something on top of the introductory press conference. So then every year they do the same stupid thing where they have this welcome thing where the cheerleaders go out and they dance. And then the mayor of Oxnard, California comes out and gives Jerry the key to the city. And he gives him it's like, guys, we're here every year. Okay. We get it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like you can't repetitively give the key to the city. Like if you have the key to the city, then you have it. They don't change the locks.
No, well, maybe they do.
You just have
maybe they do every year. So at that party, kickoff party or whatever, Jerry's up there and the crowd is chanting, "Pay Micah." Like literally all the fans are chanting, "Pay Micah." And then he gets into his spiel of last year, I can't believe we had the record we had, and now we fixed the team and everything's going to be better. So
fix the team.
Fast forward like to the next day or 2 days later this weekend, Jerry's talking to Todd Archer, who is one of the biggest beat reporters for the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody covers them better than Todd Archer. There's a few guys. If Todd Archer has a report, you trust it, right? And it's that kind of guy. Todd asked him about the Pay Micah chance. Do you want to know what Jerry's response was?
I can't even guess based off of how the first go around went.
He said something like, oh, yeah, I heard them. They were really light. They weren't anything like the Pay Lamb chance from last year.
You shouldn't be having Pay Anybody chance.
But like, it's almost like he has a personal vendetta against Micah. It's why would you even say, oh yeah, the fans were chanting way louder for me to pay CD last year than to pay our stud Micah Parsons right now?
Okay, I'm glad you said this. Like I said, I was watching live on NFL Network when they had his introductory press conference, and everybody took that clip of Jerry Jones saying, we could pay him. It's not necessarily that he's available. He missed 6 games last year, so we could pay him and then he won't play. That wasn't a direct question. Like they asked, the panel was coach, owner, and Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, coach. They asked a question about Micah. Schottenheimer got done answering. They were ready to ask another question. Jerry Jones then added on. He was like, let me add one more thing on this.
Yep.
It wasn't like he was directly asked and got caught off guard. Everybody spoke, and then they went, Jerry Jones made it a point to come back to him and be like, well, it's not a guarantee that he'll play. He missed 8 games last year, missed 6 games. It's just like, where did that come from? Like that wasn't an unscripted, caught off guard, gotcha moment. He created that himself.
You know what's even funnier on top of that is yesterday they signed Ferguson, who missed games last year because of knee injury and then a concussion, and made him the 7th highest tight end paid in the league now.
Yeah, but they did it the right way. They got his extension done out of the way. Won't have to worry about him next year. He's been productive. Yep. Yeah, he missed games last year, but people miss games. Like that's just it. But this to me is like, you know what Jeffrey Lurie said about the Eagles this upcoming year? Nothing, because we don't hear from him.
Exactly. No, you do hear from him when he's doing his at the Autism Speaks helping people.
Yeah, that is literally the last time we've heard from Jeffrey Lurie. They are in the process of potentially building a new stadium, and you still don't hear a word from this guy. He just runs his business. Everybody knows their role. And I feel like the Cowboys, we get on these shows all the time about Get Up and NFL Network, Good Morning Football. Like, oh my God, do we have to hear about the Cowboys again? But I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I can't even blame them. There's nothing to talk about. And the owner is dissing the star player. They got an offensive lineman guaranteeing that they're going to a Super Bowl. CD's telling the league to be on watch because watch what happens when he and Dak are back together. They got Micah responding to the owner.
And Pickens now are not 1 and 2; they're 1 and 1A. So they have people are saying they have the best 1-2 punch now in the league, even though there's AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in the same division.
They are just a soundbite PR nightmare central. Where I'm like, I know we get on these shows. I don't know. No other team is talking like this. Like, no, who other team guaranteed that they'd go to the Super Bowl this year?
It is Vince McMahon. It's the WWE. Yeah. Jerry Jones is Vince McMahon. Like Dak is The Rock. Micah Parsons is Triple H. Like, this is somebody's The Undertaker. That can be CeeDee Lamb's The Undertaker. It's what they are.
It was just like, it was one of those like defining moments for me where we're 3 days into training camp, and I'm already like, thank God I like the Eagles. I could not deal with this. Like every time an Eagle talks in training camp so far, they sound like absolute lunatics because they're like, we don't care that we won the Super Bowl. At this point, I don't even know if they're going to have a banner night. They might just like be unleashed onto the field. Like they're like, we're 0-0. That doesn't matter at all. Like Jalen Hurts won't even put the ring on. And then the Cowboys are like, the owner is the one creating the sound bites. I'm like, thank God that I don't have to deal with this.
It's outrageous. I text one of my buddies the other day who's a Cowboys fan. I'm like, I just wish I could be done. Like as a Cowboys fan, it's just it's so frustrating. It's so angry driven. I have no animosity. And I think, there's tough fake guys on Twitter, right? These people that, fighting back and forth, Eagles creators, Cowboys content creators, and it's fine. That's all what this is about, right? But I think deep down, if you are a Cowboys fan, stop pretending you have hatred for the Eagles. You may have hatred because they are the Philadelphia Eagles, which I do. They are a rival, but at this point, it's like they are what you wish we were. Period. End of story.
it's never been more clear. Again, it's been 72 hours of camp, and you see right away like the differences in what makes a good top to bottom team. And it's not just the Cowboys. You could go to the Bengals, where the first round pick isn't signed going into the camp. He's already unhappy. And when he plays, he'll be taking the place of the defensive end who's been there, who they also won't pay.
Yep.
And on paper, like the Bengals could be a good team, but they, front office wise, the owner doesn't want to spend, doesn't care enough to spend. The GM didn't do his job and got extensions done ahead of time. Now you're caught holding the bag with 2 receivers. You got to fix a whole defense, and 2 receivers are taking up massive amounts of cap space. And it's just like one of those things. It's like you feel good as an Eagles fan, owner, GM, coach, 53 lunatics who are 0-0. It just feels like the organizational structure feels great in your head.
Yep. All I think back is it is a Netflix run WWE. They're just doing things for documentaries, and that's that. Like,
and clicks. Yeah. Yep. And what's crazy is I was listening to a podcast, and they were doing this exercise where they're like, okay, take all 7 teams who made the playoffs in each conference. You have to replace 3.
Yep.
All 7 can't go back, because league trends before last year. I was going to say before last year, that was the only time in decades that 2 teams switched instead of 3. Usually 3 new teams make it every year. And one of the teams they mentioned that could slip in is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like they have enough talent that they could be in the playoffs this year. But it doesn't feel that way when these sound bites come out on day 1 about Micah Parsons.
No. And that's all of a sudden what your entire offseason is built around, is not paying another one of your star players. If you think about the holdouts and now hold in that they've had like back-to-back years, right? They had an issue with Zach Martin. He held out. They had the issue with Dak Prescott. He didn't hold out, but he basically gave them an ultimatum and said, we're going to stop talking by the start of the season, and it loomed over the entire camp. Finally got it done. Last year, CeeDee Lamb held out. He said the holdout affected him in the season last year. It affected the team, and they start off slow. And now you're doing the same thing with your stud generational talent in Micah Parsons. And instead of just ponying up and paying the guy, who chances are you're going to pay him anyway, I feel like secretly they just love this. They love that everyone's talking about it. They are the epitome of no press is bad press. People are talking about us. People are clicks. The only thing I hope is like backdoor, like they've already told Micah, like, listen, we're playing a game here. You're going to get paid. I don't believe that, but it's just I need Micah to go out at camp and every day wear a different shirt with like his quote on it. And like one that just he stands on the sideline and just it's shirt that says, if this is it, this is it. Like, you know, this is it. Yeah. Like he should just wear that shirt every day. I don't know what else to do. I think Jerry's almost met his match. Like Micah's smart. Micah knows how to play the media. Micah's going to stand. I think Jerry got pissed when he stood up there with Trayvon Diggs and now, the whole thing with Trayvon too. Like they actually put in the clause and docking him $500,000 for not being in the facility as much, which that's another story for another day. I think Trayvon hasn't attacked his rehab in years past like he should have, but Jerry's pissed that Mike is actually speaking out on behalf of himself.
Which, again, Jerry's like this good old boy who is from the era where you just fall in line, where that's not really how it goes anymore. And there's tons of avenues to speak out. And in fairness, it would be really frustrating to get injured. The JJ Watt saying this was the ultimate red flag when he was like, nothing's worse as a player than when you give it your all, you get hurt giving it your all, and then you hear your owner who writes your checks being like, well, he's not available. It's like, yeah, because I was busting my ass to be there for you. I have an argument that we could get into Cowboys wise, but first, you brought up something And it reminded me, CeeDee Lamb last year saying his contract hold in impacted him into the season.
Yep.
Do we know of anybody within our general vicinity who has not paid their star wide receiver that this could seep into the season as they do a contract hold out or hold in?
Could it be the new darlings of the NFL?
Yes. Yes.
With their star receiver, who's been probably one of the most underrated players in the entire NFL for the last 10 years, quietly goes about his business. That guy?
The guy who helped elevate your rookie QB so that he could win Rookie of the Year, so he had a valuable weapon to throw the ball to. That guy?
That guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
I did a TikTok last week, and all the Commanders fans were like, no. I said, listen, I have been here. I have my Eagles hat on, I have my Sixers hat on, not my Eagles hat. Josh Harris' own team, franchise stars. You got close to the golden peak, but instead of building it organically still, you rush, and you sign veterans, and you're like, let me throw money at these problems. We have these short-term solutions, and we'll get there. And you lose your way. Terry McLaurin, not taken care of, but Von Miller, 30-plus years old, taken care of. Marshawn Lattimore, hurt hamstring every year, taken care of. Bobby Wagner back, Zach Ertz back, Deebo Samuel, Laramie Tunsil, all these guys hitting their 30s, taken care of. Franchise wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, not taken care of. It is a recipe for disaster. We've seen this before. This was like Greek mythology. It always ends in the same plot line.
I kind of love it.
Well, me too. Me too.
And also because it's like, it's all, besides the NFC Championship game last year, nothing has quote unquote gone wrong for this team since DQ got there and everything. They're, now they're getting their new stadium. Well, apparently they have to change their name back, or they're not going to get their stadium now, according to someone. But
who could that be?
I don't know. Someone similar to Jerry Jones. But nothing's gone wrong. And now all of a sudden it's like creeping in. Everyone's like, they're going to, are they going to challenge the Eagles? Are they going to win? Are they going to get to the Super Bowl? It's like, all right, the Commanders are going to commander.
Yeah. And I feel like once a year we do this in the NFL. Like last year, like Texans, great rookie quarterback. Hey, they made it to the playoffs.
We were all in.
We were all on board. And guess what? It doesn't always go that way. Like sometimes that was as good as it gets.
Yep.
It's not a guarantee that you're just going to make this leap the following year. I know logic tracks that way. You're like, well, they were this good, so that means next year they'll improve by this much.
Yep.
What's Deebo Samuel going to do with the fact they got 55 put on him in the NFC Championship game? Like they didn't fix their defense. It's the same defense. No.
Well, they
it might actually be worse.
They got Bobby Wagner. Speaking of that, also these like lists that came out this summer. I know the summer's always list time.
I have a great.
Some of these like the outside line, but like, did you see Overshone was like number 2 or 3 of outside linebackers, or he was in the top 5, and like that just reminded like Lulu or whatever, Tutu Lulu, the guy who kept jumping over he was like top 5. Like it's crazy. Some of these, like it even wasn't. Jaden Daniels was like 3 for quarterback.
Yeah,
did it 1 year.
Yep. Dude, I am so glad. Like those used to bother me so much. I feel like winning the Super Bowl cured like mental illness in my brain that I don't feel a need to like argue that online. Look at this right here. Look at this. Which one is it? This tattoo that says 40-22 on my skin. As soon as that ink went on, I was like, Jalen Hurts is the 9th best quarterback. Yeah, okay, buddy. And that was it. Like exactly. Jared Goff was
how many other quarterbacks didn't win the Super Bowl last year? 31.
I care about one list. Yep. And it's the who's speaking at the parade. That's the only list that I care about these days. So, yeah. For example, Jared Goff is 8. Speaking of the Commanders, he turned the ball over 4 times against the Commanders.
Right?
And lost at home as the 1 seed. We put up 55 on the Commanders. Jalen Hurts was nearly perfect in that game.
I do not understand this narrative. And as you can see, everybody, if it's your first time here, we'd like to jump around a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what's perfect about this show.
You have ADHD. You have found the perfect podcast.
Yeah.
I said, if you have ADHD, this is the perfect podcast for you.
100%. Now I forget what I was going to say.
That's perfect, actually.
ADHD. Oh, yeah. I don't understand the narrative of this. Well, he's surrounded by superstars and he just has to do his job and get the ball to the superstars. Would you rather just have like quote unquote the best quarterback of the league and have him surrounded by Aiden and Kevin and not like just to say you have the best quarter? Like, I want the best players on my team. I don't understand.
I've thought
Why do you not want the best offensive line, the best weapons, the best run? Why would you not want that?
I think this all the time. It's all anybody's talked about for the last 2 weeks. It's like, well, he has a super team. Like, he just has to do his job. It's like, sorry? Like, I don't even know how to combat that in an argument. You're like, yeah, the front office did good. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Like, what do you split? Like, okay, like your baseball team, like every single one of your starting pitchers this year, they were all top 5 in voting for Cy Young. That's just trash. I would rather have one Cy Young candidate and then trash the rest and say, you know what, we did it the hard way. No,
yeah, that would be like if you had a closer who threw 99, saved every game. You're like, well, he had less save opportunities because the offense drove in 8 runs a game and they were up 8-1. It's like, sorry, we hit a lot of home runs. Like, I don't know what to do, what to tell you. Like, yeah, it's fun. You guys should try it sometime.
What is so? I don't know if it's got to be jealousy, I guess. Like, and listen, again, if it's your first time here, I'm a Cowboys fan. I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, but I'm also not a fucking idiot. Like, I don't have to just hide behind the shadows of being a Cowboys fan and be like, nope, they suck because they just have the best team ever, so they suck. No, they got a really good team, guys. Okay, congratulations. And their quarterback also happens to play like Superman in every big game possible. So,
yeah. I feel like we just stopped, like, the last time he was on the field, we talked about it for 2 weeks straight with nothing to talk about, where they're like, they're just going to stack the box on Saquon and bring up 8 and bring a bunch of pressure. And then they did, and then we just went over the top for the entire half. And then the next half, they just started blitzing out of desperation, which left man-to-man opportunities. So nobody was there to cover the QB, and he just took off for a quarter straight until we benched the starters because we were up 37-6. Like, I feel it was the last game we all got the last time we were all on a football field together watching. This is what happened. Like, it's that we don't need an experiment. We just watched it. So I guess it worked because everybody's been talking about those lists. But I saw that and I was like, that's funny. And I went right back to be like, all right, cool. Cowboys.
As you can see, we're 23 minutes in and we haven't talked about anything basically like on the field.
Well, let's do that. Let me knock out my, do you want to argue or should I knock out Eagles points?
Oh, what are we going to argue about?
It's Cowboys related. Okay. The way they're handling training camp.
Give it what, the dancing and all that?
I can't stand it. I hate the energy riding broomsticks and the coaches are doing surfboards and the drills. Like, don't get me wrong. I do think there is a time and place for that type of stuff to keep it loose, especially early season. The Cowboys, who I think it works for very young teams where you're trying to get the most out of these guys. You're trying to teach them. And it's not always being a hard ass that works. Like, they can learn, but you kind of have to guide them through it, and you kind of have to have fun along the way. The Cowboys are in year 11 of their quarterback. Like, it's what, year 6 for CD?
Yeah.
Year 4 for Micah? year 5 for Trayvon. It's just like not a young. They have young parts, and I know it's a new coaching staff, so they're trying to make a mark. I don't know. Just it would rub me the wrong way if I hadn't been to a conference championship in 30 years, and my 2 rivals played in the NFC Championship instead last year, and then I'm doing all these gimmicks to keep the team attention span focused. Like, you should be focused. We got embarrassed last year. The teams that were our rivals were better than us. Our biggest rival won a Super Bowl. We want to win a Super Bowl. Like, I don't need the coaches on the surfboards for me to be like, oh, let's lock in. Let's have a good time. I don't know. The gimmick stuff, I don't know. I'm not about it for the Cowboys.
I'm like half and half here. I'll go with the parts that I agree with you on. I don't need the surfboards. I don't need the Harry Potter riding the broomsticks, dancing around. Don't need it. Go through the drills, get it done. I am good with the loud music, bumping the whole practice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm cool with that. Players said they love it. Like, that I'm good with. I'm good with
that for sure.
I'm good with Shoddy literally going up to every single player and dapping them up when they're stretching during practice. That's also something Marcus Freeman does, which I do enjoy.
Great coach.
I'm good with it, keeping it loose. The thing that I did like was that there was a scuffle the other day, and everybody, is Shoddy just going to be their friend, and this and that, not be able to discipline. As soon as this fight started, Shoddy looked over, cut the music to nothing, brought the team in, and there was a lot of curse words. And basically, he's like, if I see one more of these, your ass is off the practice field and you're done for the day. And then he just looked over, and all of a sudden, a young NBA rapper or whatever, I don't know the guy's name. He was some
NBA young boy.
Yeah, NBA young boy. It just from the spot was and as loud as possible, and they got right back into it, and there wasn't a problem the rest of the day. So I liked seeing that, because I was like, all right, I need to see Shoddy be able to handle a moment like that, and he did. But yes, the gimmicks, with the surfboards and the Harry Potter stuff, I'm good without. Let's just get through the drills while bumping music and having fun. And I do like the compete every day thing. I enjoy that. But it's the little stupid things, like you were saying, that I agree. I don't need.
It just feels forced to me. It feels gimmicky. It is a gimmick, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't. If it takes the coaches being on the surfboard for the 28-year-old veteran cornerback to lighten up and focus on his job and enjoy playing, I feel like there are larger problems to solve at that point. Here's a team. If they did it, I'd be like, all right, makes sense. If the Carolina Panthers did this and had all these gimmicks going on, I'd be like, all right, yeah, it makes sense. Everybody's young QB, rookie receiver, second year coach, everybody's kind of newish in the league. They're trying to find their way. Let's Ted Lasso this together. But it's lost on me when
I think it's really Shoddy, though. I think that's really who he is.
What?
I think that's really who Brian Schottenheimer is, to be honest. I don't think it's fake from him.
Which, hey, it worked in Philadelphia with Sirianni, where you're like, yeah, this guy's kind of like a doofus, but everybody loves him still. All the players love him.
The flowers are fucking beautiful now.
Yeah, the flowers are beautiful. But I'll tell you what, when you do these things, if you come out on that field in the first quarter, you look unprepared, and
they can't lose 38-14.
What's that?
They can't lose 38-14 week one.
They cannot. No. If you're going to comment that you're guaranteeing Super Bowls and you're on surfboards and you're riding broomsticks, if Devontae Smith is behind you on the second drive in the secondary, we got a lot of questions to answer real fast.
Which they might be, because Kaiir Elam and Deron Bland are probably going to be starting your 2 starting corners, and we'll see who's in the spot.
Let's rapid fire it. I think we got some questions. Eagles. I got one good one, but I got a few question marks. Safety, still a question mark. Andrew Makuba hurt his shoulder, which I know it's training camp, it's early, who cares? But one of the knocks on him was he hits hard. He's not exactly big. He's not a buff. I don't want to say not buff, but a smaller frame guy who hits hard. What's that going to lead to? shoulder injuries. So being hurt on day 2, admittedly, he did not get hurt hitting someone. He got hurt trying to make a diving catch, but still, point remains. Thought he could be an injury issue. He is. Sidney Brown, the other guy, it doesn't feel like it's 4 days in, so this is really hard to say, but it doesn't feel like they're super confident in the safeties right now. Adoree Jackson and Kaylee Ringo are competing. I think Adoree Jackson is actually ahead of Kaylee Ringo, so that's another one to keep an eye on. Wow. And the last question mark, I think, I'll get into the good ones. One of the question marks was defensive tackle with Milton Williams leaving. Moro Ojomo, great camp. And then at linebacker, do you remember this diamond in the rough prospect? His name was Jihaad Campbell. He went to this small school called Alabama, I think. You remember him?
Don't call him that because now people are going to think he's a terrorist.
Jihaad? What was his name?
Jihaad
Campbell from small school Alabama.
Who was Alabama.
Northwest Alabama A&T. Was a consensus top 10 pick who fell out because he was an injury concern. They said, oh, this kid's going to have surgery on his shoulder, his ankle, his earlobe, everything in between.
Continue to speak. I have to plug in my computer while you speak.
There you go. I'll keep ranting. Or should I wait?
No, keep going. I'm here. Continue.
Okay. He's from small school Alabama A&T. Hurt his ankle, earlobe, shoulder. Everything's going to need surgery. He can miss the whole year. He can miss half the year. He's going to miss camp. He's going to end up on the physically unable to perform list.
Yep.
No, he's just there. He's day 1 of camp. He was ready to go. They're doing their first fully padded practice. He'll be there.
He should be there. And he is there. I don't know where I went. There I am. Hello, everybody back on YouTube. Yeah,
he's there.
What a surprise, right? He's there. I am not. He looks good. He looks healthy. I think this is exactly what I expected just because of what is happening in Philadelphia, right? It's just like, okay, well, yep. Nakobe Dean goes down. You get, some superstar linebacker who slid because he's small and he had injuries. And then he ended up playing pretty damn well last year, but then getting hurt in the playoffs. So then, again, best player available. Oh, here's Jalen Carter. Oh, here's Nolan Smith. Oh, here's Jihaad Campbell. Like, it just happened.
Jihaad Campbell.
Yeah.
He's just there. And Nakobe Dean is ahead of schedule, but he's on physically unable to perform. So Jihaad Campbell might start week 1. He'll just be there.
Yep.
On the field. After all that, I was shocked. Day 1, he was just on the field practicing. Like, I thought like week 4, I'm supposed to see this kid. Maybe. He'll be on the field in week 1.
And playing linebacker, playing edge, playing everything.
Playing everything in between. Speaking of edge rusher, last good one for the Eagles. I know we didn't talk about the offense at all, but this is going to be a repetitive theme through training camp. We know who the offense is. Jalix Hunt. Vic Fangio is a grumpy Grinch. Doesn't love, he tells it how it is, good or bad. Drop my baseball. Good or bad. And he has nothing but good things to say about Jalix Hunt. Says he has high expectations for him. Nolan Smith said the same thing. Jordan Mailata said the same thing. Landon Dickerson had the same thing. If 3 really good players and a really good defensive coordinator tell me they have high expectations for him, I'll buy all the stock imaginable in this kid.
They said he's got Micah Parsons traits, is what I heard.
I love to hear that.
Speaking of a defensive lineman, Aiden, and we can pop over to Oxnard, California, one that is also showing up and that is probably going to start week 1, who is beating up every single offensive lineman he goes against, whether it's Tyler Guyton, Steele, Booker, anybody, is a guy that you and I both loved. Somebody that you mocked to the Philadelphia Eagles multiple times, who the Cowboys stole in the second round, in Ezeraku. Looks absolutely phenomenal. His speed, his agility, his pass moves. I think he's the second best pass rusher on the team immediately behind Micah Parsons. And I mean, they re-signed Dante Fowler this year, who had a career year last year in Washington. They have a lot of edges that can get after the quarterback. And now you add this young kid who had an unbelievable career at Boston College, not only on the field, but off as well. He's a leader, really smart cat. He is having a phenomenal camp to start already, Aiden.
I'm very happy about this. I know it's a rival, but he was one of the darlings in the NFL draft process for us. We liked him a lot. And right away, like you said, like he's making an immediate impact. To have that guy across from Micah Parsons, man, like when you get him from both angles, sound a little weird, but you know what I meant.
I know exactly what you mean. All right, Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I love how other players are like, yeah, he's always been weird.
It seemed that way.
Yeah. So he's having a phenomenal camp. And the Cowboys need him too, because not only do we need him on the field, but this also hopefully will push the Cowboys to continue to take best player available when they are drafting another position. Do you have to plug in your computer now too?
I also have to plug in my computer.
How about this, huh? Welcome to Birds vs. Boys. We're back, baby. We are fully
it's training
back.
Camp for everybody.
Yep, it is. You win some reps, you lose some reps, but it's all about how you recover. So Ezaraku having a great camp. Somebody else who you and I really liked coming out of the draft last year, who actually started for the Cowboys every game last year, Cooper Beebe. We loved Cooper Beebe coming out as a guard. Cowboys got him as a steal also last year. He's having a great camp. If you all remember, I mean, he switched from guard to center. He hadn't played center ever in a competitive game besides practices. Last year, before training camp, he was snapping to his mom in his backyard, just trying to get the snap count down and the snaps in. He is looking just like a possible all-pro type center could be down the line. Everything that we had hoped him to be, the strength, the ability, the agility, the smarts, it's all coming together now. And that's really what I think this offense is going to be predicated on, Aiden, is those three big boys in the center of the offensive line. Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, and now Tyler Booker. The three of them working together. It's kind of that pin and pull. They are going hip to hip and just pushing defensive linemen down the field, bullying them, if you want to say. And then we'll see what kind of play they get from Steele on the right side, who's coming off an ankle injury, and then Tyler Guyton, who last year was obviously a disappointment at left tackle, but he's one of those guys that saw the light and changed his ways, and he's not eating fast food, and he's been in the weight room every day. So we'll see what that does. But everything's going to be predicated off those three big boys in the center of the offensive line.
Best shape of his life. Yeah, I like Cooper. That's another draft darling coming out. So he was really good. So good for him. Talk to me about the guard who got hurt.
Ronald Jones.
Yes,
Rob Jones. Sorry, Rob Jones. Broke a bone in his neck.
Also, I thought there was only one bone in your neck.
Yeah,
I thought it was just your spine. I was learning a lot.
Little bones? I don't know.
I guess. It doesn't, I mean, if you had to power rank the places you'd like to break a bone, I feel like neck is near dead last.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun at all. So I don't know what the time frame on him will be. So he was basically a depth piece when signed this offseason. He was competing with Tyler Booker for the starting job, but I think we all know who was going to win that job. But he is on the sideline helping Booker in every possible way, coach him through this. So I don't think it's a big loss right now on the field wise, because Tyler Booker is as prepared as possible. Everyone's saying they were interviewing him right before camp, and they're like, do you feel prepared for this? And he's like, yes. This is literally what I've been working for my entire life. He's like, in high school, I went to a college factory at IMG. And then after IMG, I went to a pro factory at Alabama. And this is what I've been working for and wanting to do my entire life. And now I'm here and I'm ready to go. So he is everything that the Cowboys had hoped on the field and off. He's a leader already. Now I just can't wait to see I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. Jalen Carter. What did they call him? The Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter stopper.
Yeah, stopper. Go to work week 1. So we'll see how that works out.
You just have to mentally be prepared for he'll play a great game, but you just know in that first quarter he's blowing right by him. Like there's going to be a tackle for loss. It's going to look like a turnstile in a New York City subway station going right through. But he can play well, but you just have to prepare for that.
It's just like you and me. All of a sudden, our computers pop up and say we need to plug it in or it's going to die. And then it's all about how you bounce back. So
then you keep rolling.
Just one play.
Yeah, I do like what he said, though. It's one of those things. That's why I like drafting these kids. I'm prepared for the moment because I've been preparing for this moment for 8 years.
Yep.
I played in big games in high school. I played in big games in college. I'm going to places where they're preparing me to be a professional. So that by the time I am a professional, I have some tricks. I have some expertise. I don't feel totally caught off guard. There will always be moments in any new industry where you feel like, man, I gotta work on this. I'm a little new. I'm raw to this. I'm new to this.
Yep.
But you can kind of fall back on what you know and what you've been practicing for years to help guide you through.
Amen. Somebody who did come from a big school who is not performing too well again is Mozzie Smith. Having a rough start to camp again. It's just, this is year 3 now. It is make or break. He was this big behemoth. Then he lost weight. Then he gained weight back. Now he lost weight again. I don't know anymore with this guy. It was, Nolan Smith was sitting there for you. There were some other players on the board. I would love to go back and just see everything. The other possibilities that were there. They loved him. They were between him and Bergeron, if you remember, the tackle out of Syracuse. And Bergeron hasn't been, I don't think, wonderful either. But it's just so frustrating. These defensive linemen from they cannot draft another Michigan lineman again ever. Like Taco, him,
no.
It's
Taco.
over. It just doesn't. Can you imagine this? The best rushers we could have had TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and Nolan Smith all on the same team. Now nobody would have gotten paid, but they all could have been there.
They all could have been there. Yeah, you're right. That's the beauty of the draft. Do you think he makes the team?
Yes. I think because they don't really have like a traditional one, I guess. They have JT Tuimoloau, who they just drafted out of UCLA in the 7th round. I think they're still hunting some guys to try and bring in through trade or through free agency, but they signed Justin Houston a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about that.
It's awesome, but I think so. I think this is his last go around. Has to be.
He's getting a pity invite to the soiree. Yeah, yeah.
I just remember him coming out there. They showed the video of him like jumping up the steps and everything. I'm like, oh god, yeah, this is great. My 3-year-old can jump up steps. Okay.
Yeah, it's like hit the running back in the gap.
Yeah. Please get off the ball, get off the snap in time. Okay. So don't love that. And last piece, kind of the linebackers have been playing really well, is what I'm hearing. We'll see what Jack Sanborn is. He knows this system, obviously coming over from Chicago, where Flus was. But the big question mark, the biggest besides Dak's health, how are CD and Pickens going to roll together? What's going to happen with the running backs? As you can see, there's a lot of questions. The biggest is this cornerback room right now. What is it going to look like? Who's going to be out there? You have Trayvon Diggs that's still recovering from his injury. You don't know when he's going to be back. Shavon Ravel, who was their 3rd-round pick out of East Carolina, who was projected to be a 1st-round pick. I loved the pick when they made it again. He's also recovering from his ACL injury. Hopefully he's going to be cleared soon. There were videos of him out there running drills as well as Trayvon. But as of right now, you have Deron Bland on one side, Kyrie Elam on the other, and then a whole bunch of other guys. And Kyrie Elam has been a standout all offseason and already in camp. He picked off Dak the other day. Every practice, he's getting pass breakups. He's getting interceptions. He was a Gonna say it here, Aiden. Everybody listen.
Best shape of your life.
Nope, even better. He
Better
is
than
a
that?
former first-round pick
Oh.
out of Florida, and he just never seemed to put it all together in Buffalo. He had some games where he looked really well, and then there was that game 2 years ago in the playoffs where Kansas City just picked on him and picked on him and picked on him. Maybe a change of scenery is going to be good for him. Maybe he can elevate his game. His athleticism is off the chart. So hopefully he can put it together. He's looked really well. The Cowboys need him to play well, especially before the cavalry returns. But it is a big question mark and a big issue when your biggest question mark out of the 15 other question marks that you have heading into the first game of the season is cornerback, when you have to go against the receiving corps that the Philadelphia Eagles have at home on a Thursday night during banner night. Not the greatest question mark to have.
Could turn into a track meet in a hurry.
I don't like to run. Actually, I do like to run, but no.
We're steps guys, though. We're steppers. We like walking. We don't run marathons.
I actually went for a walk this morning at like 6:15, and like I was just like walking, feeling good, getting steps in. And then this like probably like 55-year-old woman like on the trail all of a sudden is like has a weighted vest on and is running past me. I'm like, shit, maybe I should be running.
Yeah. That's happened to me before, where like the weighted vest person sprints by you and you're like, hold on, wait a second. I'll speed up.
You get
Start speed walking.
Yeah, speed walk. But that's about it in Cowboys land. Obviously, the biggest talking points are the contracts or lack thereof right now. Dak looks smooth, looks steady, obviously shaking some rust off. There's been a couple interceptions here and there, but running backs too. Miles Sanders is surprising heads everywhere. And then
I hope he does well.
There was question marks, obviously, a couple weeks ago about Jadon Blue, the running back they took out of Texas. People were saying, insiders are saying that he isn't picking up the game plans well and this and that. And he has just burst onto the scene in camp and could not have had a better start. His speed, his agility looks off the charts. He looks like everything the Cowboys had hoped he would be. So that would be a phenomenal 1-2 punch with the two of them. And then we'll see what happens with Williams, who obviously was their first running back that they took in preseason when they signed him. But we'll see. I don't think they're going to keep all three of those guys and then Deuce Vaughn and Hunter Lipke. It's going to be an interesting battle to see who the running backs and the fullback are once they take the field week one.
It'll be weird seeing Miles Sanders out there as a Cowboy, like on a night where we're celebrating the Super Bowl. It's like, man, you were with us for some of these moments, but
he was so good.
Yeah, he was.
People forget how good he really was. It's easy to forget when you have a 2,000-yard
People don't forget.
I can't believe we are where we are already, but I can't.
Flew
at
by.
The same time, meaning summer, and it's coming fast. We have our first game this Thursday night, correct?
Yeah, Hall of Fame game. I don't even remember who Lions are playing. I forget who.
Lions. And
that's always such a tease. You like see them on the field and you're like, oh yeah, football's back. And it's like, okay, maybe not, but for those 5 minutes, it's like watching a teaser. You know how these days, have you caught this? For movies, they're doing teasers of previews. So they're like, they'll be like the preview coming on August 26th. That's the Hall of Fame game. It's the teaser of the preview of the movie.
Yep. And as I check online right now, it's the Chargers and the Lions. It actually has a spread and a total, and you can bet on this game. Like that's when you have to call the hotline that they tell you.
Oh yeah, because there's no strategy behind knowing
Lions by one. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Sure. That's all I got in Jerryland. Besides the Netflix documentary dropping soon too. Jerry and his Cowboys.
Can't wait. I'm good. It feels great to be back. Season 5, Birds vs. Boys. First of many, many to come on what should be a great year.
And look out for 2 years ago, the year before that, we were very guest heavy, right? This past year, we tried to switch up a little bit. I think we did a lot of less guests, but we're actually getting reached out to by people. So we're going to bring a lot more guests on. We love having our guys RJ on, but we want to involve other creators, right? In the Eagles land, in the Cowboys land. I just got a really nice connection for a beat writer with the Giants that wants to hop on, actually asking me about getting on. I haven't told you about that yet. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun this season. I think, you have a shot to go back to back. The Cowboys have a shot to be the leading circus in the league, but at least hopefully with George Pickens are going to be fun. So, I'm sure we're not going to have a lack of things to talk about this year, Aiden.
Never. You never do, and that's the beauty of it all.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to all of you. If it's your first time here, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you are a repeat offender, welcome back. We appreciate you. We love you. Make sure you subscribe everywhere we are. We just hit 500,000 likes. Was that it on your TikTok that you run? Was that what that? So shout out to Aiden. So Aiden, I got a brand new, I got a 16 something. It's got 3 cameras now. So I'm ready to go now on the TikTok space. So I'm going to hop more into that. So follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, where our socials are, Birds vs. Boys Pod. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are there. Apple, Google, Spotify. I think Stitcher's still around. We're there as well, Birds vs. Boys Pod. And then right here, if you are watching on our YouTube channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button, like, follow, and comment below, Birds vs. Boys Pod as well. We will be back doing weekly shows and a little bit more even now as we creep closer and closer to football. Summer break is over, ladies and gentlemen. Birds vs. Boys are back, and we are glad that you are here with us.
Good to be back.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds vs. Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upside alert. Upside alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is?
Be the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.